Relax. Relax. Feel your body sinking and your spirits rising. Rising out of your heads, floating away into your own world of fantasy. Floating away into your own world of fantasy. Floating away into your own world of fantasy.
Yeah, it's very strange. So I just wanted people to understand, first of all, we've got this facility here that even those of us who kind of enjoy reading this type of material, we didn't even know it was there. And so there's this kind of strange, deep, dark film facility that's 100,000 square feet on Lookout Mountain. So that's just a setup. So then we move to the 60s. And here again, Dave, I've got to commend you because you kind of address all of my skeptical aspects going into this, because I was talking to my wife about this, and one of the things that you cover over and over, and it's shocking because it keeps coming up, is how many of these young people who would go on to form these bands, and not just the rock musicians, but the actors as well, came from families that had direct contact with military intelligence of some sort. And, you know, some people would say, well, wait a minute, we just had World War II. Couldn't it be that all of these kids, all these, you know, Air Force, Army, Marine brats, surely they don't want to do what their parents did. They would want to, you know, grow up and be beats, then rock and rollers, whatever was happening at that particular point in time, which I kind of get. But I think one of your quotes was, how many coincidences does it take to make a conspiracy? And maybe you could just run down for a second. I've got a list if you get tired and can't remember it, but tell how many of these people had these insane military pedigrees.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling, and coupled with that, the fact that quite a few of them had past connections, and you know, before they all arrived from various parts of the country, virtually simultaneously in Laurel Canyon, a lot of them had past connections, you know, and you know, Jim Morrison is probably, you know, the classic example,
yes,
being that his dad was the U.S. Navy admiral who was directly overseeing the Gulf of Tonkin incident. He was the commanding officer of the ships involved in Tonkin Gulf, which of course was the incident that led directly to the Tonkin Gulf resolution and the first American boots on the ground, or the first official American boots on the ground, and ultimately resulted in, you know, 60,000 American casualties and several million, you know, Vietnamese and Cambodian casualties. And he was a key player in orchestrating that whole incident that you know, that garnered the support of the American people for a full-on war. And virtually simultaneously, here's his son arriving on the scene on, you know, Sunset Strip, Laurel Canyon scene as this huge icon of the anti-war movement. And, yes, you know, there's a huge irony there, obviously. And yes, you know, I mean, the argument that I always get is, well, that's perfectly natural. These people were rebelling, you know, against their parents, but just the sheer number of them, you know, you have, you know, Frank Zappa, whose father was a chemical warfare engineer, originally assigned to the Edgewood Arsenal. Frank Zappa was actually born on the base and went to school there, lived there in military housing, spent the first 7 years of his life at the Edgewood Arsenal, the home of U.S. chemical warfare.
I mean, I just didn't do anything. I was a failure. Do you think you're a goof?
Do you?
No.
Well, see, it depends on what
Do
you
I think you're a goof?
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay, see, then that's where it's at. If you think I'm a goof, man, I'm a goof. You know, what I think is what I am, right? And I don't think I'm a goof.
I don't think you're a goof.
Right, okay. I think I'm out of work. Now, I hope I get this serious. But goof, no, I'm not a goof.
Let me ask you this. You have any ego hang-ups?
Yeah, a lot of ego hang-ups. I've got a few ego hangers.
And you got ego hang-ups with me right now?
Yeah, listen, wait a minute. I mean, really, if you're really tight about me sitting in the chair, baby, I'm sorry, because I really want to see what's in there. Because when I go home, I'm going to say, hey, on the farmer's daughter, you a drawer? That's going to be a guess.
You may be the only one who's ever been in that drawer, Mike.
Thou workest in me slavery, but I shan't heed thee as before. I prithee, do not ask for love once more.
Now, it's quite a while ago that I had a strange intuition. Something was wrong with my gold record situation. Why, they say, with so much adoration? Well, I can't see that makes it right. So for a while, I'll just play my guitar, sing along, and I'll play a couple of tunes. Yes, yes. And I know that it may not get me too far, but it's the only thing I believe that's true. Well, the devil incarnate with running music supervision put me into a state of cataleptic euphemism. Somebody's preaching about the wonder world of communism. Me and I don't understand it all. So for a while, I'll just play my guitar, and I'll sing a couple of these tunes. And I know that it may not get me too far, but it's the only thing I believe that's true. Well, tell me, Mr. TV man, just where you make your moral stand. Which way each day do you take your pay? Do you walk straight up, or do you face the other way? Whoa, Rugulator. For a while, I'll play my guitar, and I'll sing a couple of tunes. And I know that it may not get me too far, but it's the only